the Ricky Harris. My topic is supply. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, please don't. That doesn't count.
And are you ready?
Yes.
Fantastic. Josh Thorne, are you ready?
Indeed.
Well. Right Club audience, are you ready? Yeah! Then it's the Ricky Harris for supply in 3, 2, 1, begin.
When I think of supplies, one of the first instances when I needed supplies, I think about is like supplies for school. There was always a list of things we needed to gather to be successful within the school year. Pencils, notebooks, Trapper Keeper, I know I'm aging myself, backpacks, loose leaf paper, and let us not forget that box of Kleenex for the class. Now, after all of these necessities were needed, these were all needed for us to be able to complete a school day with success. We needed supplies to be able to learn and absorb the knowledge that was coming before us. We need supplies to help us focus on the learning and to become well-rounded individuals in this present world. With those proper supplies, we grow into folks that are compassionate, caring, and loving. What do I mean, and how did I come up with that? Since from simply having proper supplies, it's like those of us who were blessed to get those needed supplies to make our education successful knew that when we encountered classmates who might not have been able to get all of the supplies needed, we took it amongst ourselves to make sure all of our peers were successful and having the proper supplies needed to be lucrative students. We learned early on that it wasn't enough for only some of us to be prosperous. We knew that we could help others be just as prosperous as us. It wasn't a question for us to help out another person, to give when we had it to give, to share supplies when needed. We saw the need and we fulfilled. To share supplies and spread them evenly was just a natural thing for us. We didn't see the use in hoarding supplies or keeping supplies from certain ethnic groups. We didn't see the value in bragging about having supplies when our fellow neighbor didn't. We didn't see the value in trying to use all of the supplies up so no one else could use them. We simply didn't have that mind frame when it came to supplies. Therefore, when this country refuses to supply the basic needs for its inhabitants, it's very disheartening. It is disturbing of those in charge. It lacks empathy, sympathy, caring, concern, love, acceptance, and most importantly, remembrance. Because I feel we have all been in a moment or a place where we were in need. Whether the need has been recently or within history, at some point we've all needed supplies to get by. Having the basic necessities should not be a question for our families today. Like fresh and clean water, which Flint, Michigan is yet without. Sure, they've done some things and they passed out some filters to people who need it, but they're not going into every community making sure that things are right. And that's because the 1% doesn't care about the supplies of everyone else in this country. When you have the ability to help make the world a better place, but you choose not to, shows the lack of character that you possess. And quite frankly, I think you should be hung in the town square for all to see. You know, everyone is always so demanding that those begging on the streets for money should just get a job. Everyone thinks that sex workers should have found another profession when essentially that was all they were groomed to do. Everyone thinks that it's just a matter of leaving a domestic violence situation when that's not always the case. Everyone thinks that you can simply go to the bank and get a loan to purchase your first home, when in our society, everyone doesn't have that privilege or has been denied that privilege several times. Everything is not and has not been the same for everyone, which is why we as human beings must take care of human beings. That's how simple it is, to make sure that we are all supplied the things we need to live, breathe, and thrive. You know, it's depressing to think of the demand that cisgender white men have put on society. Their pompous way of thinking led to the downfall of our civil rights as we know it. And I know folks are saying, damn, Ricky, why you always so tough on white men? It seems as if you got something against white men in this country. Truth is, I don't have anything against white men at all, but I do have a problem with a group of people who have created chaos in this world and refuse to take responsibility for it and refuse to help fix the problem at all. Listen, I will stop being so hard on white men when they stop killing black and brown folk. When they put a stop to their capitalist ways, when they stop being the #1 offenders when it comes to doing harmful things to children. Because let's face it, one of the January 6th insurrectionists this week alone was found to be in possession of child pornography. Just happened to be a cisgender white man. Now, do you see how this stupidity that we're made to follow is crazy? And also, listen, white men, if you're offended by this, do better. Now, white men have been the cause of all the hate and harm in this world, so forgive me that I'm not throwing them a parade and giving them a Nobel Peace Prize just because they're white. They are not meeting the needs of the people. You know, people of this earth need them. And if they have any good sense, because they're not meeting the needs of the people, in my opinion, those who aren't meeting the needs should have unalived themselves a long time ago, because there's no space on earth for their stupidity. Now, thankfully for me, I have an ancestral strength and belief that I can hold on to. Those of us who have been marginalized have always found a way to make it through, and I simply say it's a God will provide type of thing. Through being taken from my homeland and brought over here to build this land, being denied basic needs, God still provided. From being innocently killed by police to being mistreated in jails and prisons, God still provides. We hold on to our faith so strong that God continually supplies all of our needs, no matter the circumstance. So as we head into even more troubling times, I implore you all to hold fast to the belief system that has carried my people through for years and years. And just know that no matter what, God will supply. Thank you.